Hola, buenos. Today is another day in Buenos Aires, un otro día en Buenos Aires, in Argentina, the capital. And I'm starting off today at the San Juan Bautista Church. Like many other churches in this city, this isn't the original church as it was demolished in 1654, and this current rebuild was completed in 1797. I'm in the San Telmo region of Buenos Aires today. Very nice looking building from the outside. Unfortunately, it is closed, that gate is locked. And it is a church that hides some interesting things. There are 260 nuns buried in tombs and crypts under the choir inside. And during the English invasions of 1806 and 1807, the central courtyard of the convent was used to care for the wounded and some of the dead combatants, and both Creole and English were buried here. I'm going to go on a little walk around, and if you're watching this, show you what it's like in the area. Hot today, muy calor, muy caliente. Aquí in Buenos Aires it's around 34 degrees today at the moment. I think the highs will reach 36. I'm in a bit of shade at the moment, but the streets are really nice to walk around in Buenos Aires, one of the nicest cities I've visited. It is a Saturday today in Buenos Aires, and it's quite quiet, as you can see behind me. I'm in quite a popular area. This is a historic area. This white building behind me is called Manzana de las Luces, which in my limited Spanish I think means apple of the lights. And this building in the 17th and 18th century was one of the more important areas where intellectuals and revolutionaries gathered, and there's schools here. It's now a museum. There's also a church in this area. This is the building here, and I think behind there is the schools and churches. So I've just come to the street just left of that Manzana de las Luces building, and you can see just about the church, the old church there just to my left. And this is the historic centre. Look at this massive building behind me. And this impressive building is the legislative building of the city of Buenos Aires. And just at the end of this road, there should be a free museum. So I'm now approaching Plaza de Mayo, which is a square surrounded by historic buildings. I'm kind of there already, but you can see these wonderful buildings around me. Now this one here is supposed to be the museum. I'll come to that once I've rotated. It looks about as open as a locked safe in a high security bank, because it's got these gates around the outside, unfortunately. So I think they might be doing some work to the museum. I'm going to have a walk around and see if I can get in, because it is free. But this museum is now a museum, but it used to be the town council. Here are my QZ Tours members. They're on the bus behind me. I put them on there so I don't have to walk around with them. Oh, it's not ideal getting around this building. The whole thing is gated off all the way around here. I can see some police inside. Lots of police inside. I'm sure you can see through the gap. See if I can ask. I mean, it does look very close. Hola, Museo Cerrado. The Museo Cerrado. Cerrado. Okay, gracias. Museum is closed. I gave it a shot anyway. Estoy aquí ahora. Sorry, I'm just looking. There's someone else who I think was shouting through the fence to see if the museum was open. Maybe not. I'm now here at the Plaza de Mayo, the most famous square, I think, in Buenos Aires, dating back to the 1580s, when the city was founded for its second time, and this place became the most important centre in Buenos Aires for events. And the name Plaza de Mayo is given because of May 1810, May the 25th, I think, when the Argentine Revolution began. And I was going to go to the cathedral first before I went to the square, but I've got to walk through it to go to it. So the cathedral is there behind me.
Yes. Well, I can find the before. Yes. I had also theater, a library, many things. And this is our cathedral. This is the cathedral of the city of Buenos Aires. We're going to take the large one. The large cathedral, which is mentioned over there. Come over here. And lo que se dice es preciso. This is exactly so the people if we're here, because with this thing here, I'm not going to be here. So that's family has finished covered. Our first chapel was here in 1591. Decay roof, mud bricks, like everything in the city, so it couldn't last very long in time. 1752, they said, we needed a cathedral. Okay? So they started building the cathedral. Sorry, it took 100 years to be finished. Okay, why? Money. Nobody knows where the money went. That's how we're going to see why.
1866, this cathedral's finished. I'm just getting some free information from another tour guide. It took 100 years to build this cathedral, and he was saying to his group, imagine they didn't know what it was before. He was saying to his group, look at this building and guess what you think it is. And he said, don't be afraid to guess. I don't think they really cared about being afraid. It's not like when you're in year 6 putting your hand up to answer a question in school. He said a theatre, museum, blah blah blah. No, it's a cathedral. Okay, yeah. So yes, this is a cathedral, and to be fair to him, he does have a point. It doesn't really look like the average cathedral that you would see. So it took over 100 years to build and finished in 1866, French architect. And he said it was the first chapel here in Buenos Aires ever in the early 1500s as well, around 1510 I believe. But if you think all QZ Tours knows is what other tour guides say, you'd be wrong. So this cathedral is a Latin cross building with a neoclassical style and Italian inspiration. It's got 5 naves, long corridors and a triangular facade with white marble colours. It has lots of notable pieces of art as well, including a Rococo altar, a Churrigueresque altar, and a mural honouring Holocaust victims. Now again, they've got these fences on the outside, except the difference with this building is you can see people walking inside. And I think this is free. Another thing I'm going to be looking out for, and maybe you should be too, is a statue remembering San Martin, the man who led Argentina to independence in 1816, which should be inside the cathedral. And guess what has more than 3,500 pipes? Are you ready? It's the organ inside this cathedral, built in Germany in 1871 by Walker. Just about to head inside now. And the pillars outside the front before I go in, they're quite incredible size. The first impressions of this cathedral is the size of it. There's almost 3 walkways. One here as you come in on the left hand side. Main section here with this incredible scene behind me. Take a closer walk around in a minute. And then this is the right hand side. And then in addition to these 3 hallways, you've got 1 hallway on the outside of the right and left hand side as well. So I'd probably say 5 walkways here in this cathedral. The most important element dating from the colonial times here is the main gilt wood altarpiece in the Rococo style, dating from 1785. The altarpiece here occupies the main chapel and has a statue of the Virgin Mary and a representation of the Holy Trinity. I think the ceilings weren't actually decorated, and maybe some of the walls as well, until the end of the 19th century. Just sat here as well looking around. I'm just sort of in awe at all the intricacies of here, but I've also noticed there's lots of oil paintings here. You could probably consider this place a sort of pictorial museum in itself. I'll just pan around here. There's lots of large oil paintings. And everywhere you look, there's sort of something new to see. Like I just noticed this on the top of the roof here. Really nice carvings. And by the entrance above the door you can see some of the pipings. Now I'm gonna look for San Martin. Non-touristy area. I believe usually when these gates are open here, that would be reserved for prayer time only. Seems as though just after I walked past the non-tourist area sign, a couple of other tourists were walking in there. So here it is, San Martin, with 2 guards guarding it. And it's actually a mausoleum. So we're going to go inside and take a look. In 1880, the remains of General San Martin were brought back and placed in this mausoleum here behind me. And you can see that black sarcophagus on the top with remains of other generals as well. The mausoleum was designed by a French sculptor using different types of marble. As you can see the black and the different colours there. Woman at the front is from Argentina, and you have a woman here from Peru, and there's 3 life-sized female figures protecting the black sarcophagus. The final one here from Chile, and those 3 countries were countries freed by the general. Walking over to the left-hand side now, I believe there's a nativity scene. So this is St. Joseph's Chapel, and in each of these areas on the side hallways of this cathedral are small chapels for different people. So that was St. Joseph. If I walk just down to the next one, we will have a chapel for somebody else. The chapel of Our Lady of Mount Carmel's altar here behind me, and it's on plaques for each chapel that you walk past. For example, the next one, there will be a plaque to my right here. St. John the Baptist's chapel. So it's really quite a nice cathedral actually, and once you're inside here it doesn't seem to match the shape that you see on the outside, which is quite interesting, but yeah, definitely recommend this one. So I've left now, and you can see a burning flame just to the side of my eye, and the writing just confirms that San Martin has been laid to rest here along with soldiers during the independence period. Y ahora me voy a San Telmo Mercado, creo. I think now I'm going to be going to the San Telmo market. There is 2 markets. There's a fair market which is only open on a Sunday, I believe, but I think the general San Telmo market is open today, so I'm going to go and take a look and see what it looks like. And on the way there I'm walking back through Plaza de Mayo, but this time past the monument in the middle of it, which does have the Plaza de Mayo 25th of May 1810 written on it, just engraved there in the base. And in front of me is quite an incredible view. Not the footballer, because I don't know what he's up to, but the building behind him with the Argentinian flag is the Casa Rosada, which I presume is the pink house, which is how it looks. And the site where it currently is used to be where a fort was based, but obviously this is here now, and it was completed I think in 1898, and I think this is where the president lives, but it's also where the governmental offices are nowadays. And the reason it's called Casa Rosada is because of its pink hue, and apparently it was originally painted with cow's blood to basically repel the effects of humidity in the area for a longer period of time. He's still going. Dribbling around the fountain. He must be boiling in those black clothes, long trousers, long top. A 360 of Plaza de Mayo before I exit and head towards the San Telmo Mercado down this street. And on the way I'm passing this beautiful building behind me. This is the chapel of San Roque, and it looks like there's some kind of old building here to the right of it, a pharmacy of homeopathy as well. Nice cobblestone streets here to walk down. Really nice area, Buenos Aires. Just while I'm waiting to cross this road behind me, I'm at another 18th century Catholic church here, Santo Domingo. There's just so many nice buildings around here in the city. Behind me here is a little sculpture of some famous Argentinian cartoons. It seems to be quite popular around here. Just to my right there's another bench with a long host of people queuing up to take a picture. There's Suleimana, Adam Armstrong and Cameron Archer. And Southampton fans may understand. And the San Telmo market is just 2 minutes away down these cobbly streets up here. I'm in Casa Dulce de Leche. I'm gonna try a free taster of Dulce de Leche. I tried this one first. Gracias. Just here we've got a free taster of Dulce de Leche. This almost tastes like caramel. I did use a different stick, don't worry. A very caramel sweet flavour. I've now tasted the Argentinian classic Dulce de Leche, and I have to say, I'm actually a little bit underwhelmed. It was slightly too sweet for my liking. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Hola. ¿Qué es eso? Chipas.
Sí.
Es con almidón y manteca. Queso, manteca, almidón.
Sí.
Ok, sin tac. Sí, ok, bueno, ¿cuánto costa?
Paquetito 2.000.
2.000.
Paquetito
2.000. Bueno. Un momento. Muchas gracias.
Ahora que queda.
¿Ayúd?
Lo que queda.
Sí.
Sí, claro.
¿Este? Muy bien.
Dos fresquitas.
Gracias. Buen día.
Dario, que tenga buen día.
Gracias. Okay, so we've got some large chipas here in Argentina, and this is made with starch. Again, I've tried the small ones up in northern Argentina and in Paraguay, but this one is the round rings with starch and cheese, he said. There's cheese in this one and butter, so I'm going to give it a taste. This cost me 2,000 Argentine pesos, which in English money is around £1.50, or in American dollars maybe $2. So I have now reached the Mercado de San Telmo, and you're probably wondering, why is QZ Tours not in a market? If I said I was going to a market, well, it turns out there isn't a market. It's just a street with shops. So a bit like the Dulce de Leche shop I went into with the traditional foods, and some other shops like this, and some antique shops along this street. Got some old buildings here with sort of colonial style carvings. Up ahead there's a parrilla, a grill, and some bars as well. Oh, I was wrong, there is a market here. There it is, Mercado de San Telmo. Okay. Right, imagine I've got the Men in Black thing and I'm waving it in front of your face. Just forget the last minute. Okay, vamos into Mercado de San Telmo. Music's loud. Some bag shops here, some souvenir shops here. Lots of football shirts for sale, ice creams, and towards this end there's bars and cafes and pubs, sort of like fast food outlets. Let me just get out the crowd for a bit, see if I can get a view from above. So in this area here there's more sort of shopping centre type vibes sticking out to the left. It's quite a big market actually, and here you can see the sort of old metal structures above the market. So that is where the main area of the market is. I'm going to go back down there and turn right. Sorry, I meant turn left. Herbs and spices here. And it looks like some of the fresh produce is in the middle of the market. Look at all this lovely fresh produce. The prices inside this market are slightly more expensive, at least for the fresh produce, than they are on the streets surrounding Buenos Aires, the sort of corner shops that you find. Probably around a 10% increase here. And I'm just leaving the market now on the other side. Well, there's some nice cheese and chorizo here. And this looks like quite a exquisite shop, quite expensive prices for the steaks. But the steaks are all here on view. And then you can see where they roast them at the back as well. It all does seem very fresh here in Buenos Aires San Telmo market. Beautiful tree and streets here behind me, just outside the San Telmo market. Alright, so here we go with the chipas in Buenos Aires. There's definitely cheese in here. Soft texture overall, not very crispy on the outside compared to the smaller ones I've had, but overall probably a more bready texture compared to the other ones. I'm going to rate this one an 8 out of 10 here in Buenos Aires. And that's it for today in Buenos Aires. I'm going to leave you here with some nice buildings again behind me, a nice light blue one with a old historic one next to it. In the streets of Buenos Aires. Adios.